out. I'm gonna chase your ass around.
Wow. Yeah, and Karrueche says that the words you heard Chris say there are exactly the things he's been telling their friends,
and
that if he can't have her,
that nobody else will have her.
And Raquel, death threats.
Yes, a number of death threats.
So she is saying that he has recently been telling friends that he is going to kill me, he is going to shoot me, and that she says that he has now been showing actions by throwing drinks in her friend's face. Actions.
So she thinks that this is amping up.
Just earlier this month, and that's why she basically is pulling the trigger and following his orders, because she's really afraid of for her life, and she has to do this to basically let him know, like, listen, I don't want you to harass my friends. I want you to stay away from everyone and stop saying that you're going to shoot and kill me to people, because she's obviously thinking serious.
Yeah, she's the action, whatever happened with her friend, obviously has her thinking that this guy is coming apart. And who knows what he's going to do to me. Well, and then you say coming apart, but really when you read this document, she's saying he came apart years ago by I mean,
but is this now, do we know what the timing was? Is this when she finally broke up with him?
This is what
no, when she broke up with him, right, she says that he punched her and threw her down a flight of stairs.
Right, so that's a couple of years ago.
Yes, a couple of years ago when they're together. They haven't been together, of course,
Raquel,
in at least over 2.5 years.
What is super relevant there is that would have been the time he was still on probation in the Rihanna case, and had this come to light, Chris Brown would be in jail if this were true. She did not file a police report.
Exactly.
Why not?
Well, we haven't gotten to Karrueche yet, so we're unclear.
I mean, that's a fair point.
But it feels like, and I don't know that this, it feels like there is a discussion, please don't go to the police.
I'll go to prison if you do.
Right, or even if Chris didn't say it, she's aware of that. She knows, and you know,
she didn't want to send him to prison.
It would be battered woman syndrome.
So it is so relevant here because remember, Chris Brown went to anger management. Chris Brown was on probation for a long time. Remember, he ended up in jail for like 30 days, and so but dodged the bullet.
And he's been to a number of treatment centers, you know.
Right.
So it's been a whole situation, and with Karrueche, they've also been broken up for a long time. He has her and a number of references online situations with Tyson Beckford, as well as a few others, you know.
We should explain the Tyson Beckford thing, because you're right, Raquel, I totally forgot about it.
That is a very relevant situation where where Tyson Beckford was in Las Vegas and hanging out with Karrueche.
Put a picture on social media. And then he says that either Chris and some of Chris's friends...
entourage.
Right.
Tyson basically claims him and his entourage then started harassing him on social media and making
maybe he showed up outside of his hotel room,
and even went to his hotel room, where Tyson Beckford even had to basically, remember, he got out his gun and things like that, showing how he shoots and everything else.
So the picture that Karrueche is painting is this is an obsessed man who has not let that relationship go for several years now, and is even escalating it now by making death threats. And based on his conduct in the past toward her and toward her friends, she is worried that there's going to be violence. She has gone to court. She's gotten a domestic violence restraining order. And again, we don't think she has filed a police report, at least yet, but it would be something, clearly, if this is provable, that the police are going to be super interested
but they
in.
Can't, I just want to be clear, even if could they go back, he's off probation now, so even if they go back and they investigate the assaults that she's talking about here,
but they could get him on the assault by itself. The question is, it has a statute of limitations run on those assaults, and I don't know the time frame there. But that aside, if he did brutalize her, they're going to want to look at the statute of limitations on that crime. If in fact he did it.
Right.
Even if the statute ran, if he's making death threats now, that is a separate crime, and that's fresh because that's a week and a half, 2 weeks old, and they could act on that.
Hey, this is Chandel from the DMV, and this whole Chris Brown situation, like, I'm team Chris, but this situation right here is becoming crazy. Like, he's looking real obsessed. He's on social media talking about how he would treat her since they're not together. I just need him to get it together and just leave Karrueche alone, because he's just dragging his career further down when he's trying to pick it back up. He's got his singing, he's got his clothing line. Like, focus on something else other than this girl.
Well, if this is true, by the way, and again, we should say we have reached out multiple times to Chris's rep, and we have not gotten word back yet. But if it's true, I mean, you can say Rihanna was one drunken night, but this, throwing chairs out the window at Good Morning America, all sorts of issues. But if this is true, this is a big deal. Okay, we're going to move on.
Moving on to